Hello, my name is Catharina Bowers, and I'm sitting out on my porch on Saturday afternoon. The sun is shining brightly. It's just a gorgeous day today. I'm going to tell you about my trip to Toronto and a little bit about what was going on our drive down on Tuesday, my treatment on Wednesday, and then coming home again on Thursday. So we started out at about 9 a.m. for a peaceful drive under sunny skies with autumn's palette unfolding all around us. It was a beautiful gift. All the trees on all the leaves and the colors on the painted trees. We were just a few weeks ahead of, I think, what the GTA has in terms of colored foliage. I'm not new at blogging, but I am new at turning a blog into a video. So bear with me. If you like what I'm doing and you like the messages I send out, please subscribe. Yes, I opened up a new channel a while ago, and it's just in its infancy, but it would be interesting to see where it's going to lead us, because I feel like I'm on a new spiritual journey. I imagine the contrast between the golden yellows and the fiery reds against the evergreens as we were driving down the 400. It was actually very breathtaking. It was a beautiful pause in the day when we stopped in Woodbridge to nourish our body, our spirits, our souls, and to have a nice lingering lunch with our friends Erik and Lynda. So we stopped at Symposium, a delicious place along the way. I think there's symposiums all over the province. But we ended up with a nice big table because I knew I was going to have to fix a necklace for Lynda. And we hadn't seen Erik and Lynda for a while. They're busy people. They're running a business, and for us, every day is Saturday. But she had a birthday coming up, and I thought, oh, it would be so nice to see her. So we made arrangements to get together for lunch. One of Lynda's necklaces had a broken clasp on it, so I was able to fix it while I was there. She had another set of earrings with her, and they needed to be repaired, but I needed a magnifying glass for that, so I took them home with me. And of course, because her birthday's coming up, I thought I might as well bring her present down with me, so I did that. And I had also made a statement piece for her that I wanted her to try out, and I called it Quality Control. She didn't want to open it at first, and I said, no, you need to look at the little tag. It says, just because I want you to do quality control on it, and I need to know pretty soon how that's working for you. So anyways, I explained to her that I had made myself a statement piece, and I'd worn it a few times. And I thought, you know what, she would probably like something like that too. So I made her one, and it was made out of Swarovski elements, crystals, green crystals. And I just thought it was something that would kind of suit her very well. To me, these pieces of jewelry, just like I'm wearing today, these are not just necklaces. These are collars. These are statement pieces. And sometimes when you have something like that, you just want to wear it all the time because it makes you feel good. And I know Lynda quite well because I've known her since 1976. And I love that we share a sense of humor together. We share a lot of things by telephone. We're in touch quite often. And I just think she's a beautiful girl. And because I said to her that the gift was marked just because, I wanted her to open it there, and she did, and she she loved it. She put it on and she liked it very much. So for that, there was no occasion, no obligation, just a love offering freely of a piece of art. It's the kind of gesture that lingers in my heart far longer than any holiday or milestone. And knowing my friend, she will understand the piece of holding layers together. And by layers, I meant like the silver and the gold and the crystals and various layers. And as we were saying goodbye at lunch that day, she handed me an envelope. And I said, "What's this for?" And she said, "Just take it. I just want you to take it." Well, we both like mysteries. And of course, the gifts that I had for her birthday, one of them was something that I had made, and the other was something that I had bought. And I told her, "You're not opening it till your birthday." So it turns out that we decided that we were going to Zoom on her birthday, and she was going to open her gifts then. And I decided that the envelope that she had given me as we were leaving, I was going to put it away and open it the following morning as I was going to the clinic. So that's what I did. Well, on my way to the clinic, I did open it, and I imagined that it would have something with a little bit of humor in it. And she didn't disappoint. The envelope held a card, and the card was very beautiful. Purple around the edges, two old ladies sitting at a table looking at a crystal ball. One of them, she had written Lynn, and the other one was Kath. So the two of us are looking at a crystal ball. And it said something like, "If we only knew then what we know now." And I think it made me think, yeah, what could I have known then that I know now? And oh my God, I know so much more now. And I think part of it is just life. Like, you learn things every day as you go along. You learn things about your friends. You learn things about yourself. And at the moment, I feel like I'm on a journey again about learning about me, because the timing of it seems to be right for me. And I'm going to be bringing some of you along for that too. But anyways, the thing was, when I opened up Lynda's card, it was emotional to me because of what she had written on the inside. And it just solidifies and explains the relationship that the two of us have between each other. And I just love that she can freely say that she loves me, or more than beyond words, she said, and that I can say the same about her. And like, I mean, how many people can do that with one another? It's amazing. So, anyways, I'm starting to get a little emotional here, so I better get a grip. Now, the other thing that was going on Tuesday was the day of truth and reconciliation. And it was marked all across Canada with solemn reflections and heartfelt gatherings. And this year carried a special significance because it was the 5th annual observance and the 10th anniversary of the Truth and Reconciliation Commission's final report. Communities from coast to coast have honored the children who never returned home from residential schools and the survivors who carry their stories forward. Here are a few highlights from Tuesday's Truth and Reconciliation meetings or gatherings across Canada. In Toronto, they hosted events that brought together students, families, and survivors to commemorate lost lives and the traumas they endured. In Ottawa, they held arts festivals and historic walking tours to deepen the public understanding of what the Indigenous really went through. In St. John's, they gathered hundreds by the hundreds in remembrance with a focus of ensuring that history does not repeat itself. In London, they contributed to a growing arts installation at the Western University Wampum Learning Lodge, a piece that's evolved over 3 years. In Windsor, they held a memorial walk along the Ojibwe Natural Center, emphasizing the importance of sharing history and fostering dialogue. What did your town do for truth and reconciliation this year? Governor General Mary Simon herself is Indigenous and reflected on the progress made and the work that's still ahead. She noted that while many schools now embrace inclusive history and Indigenous languages, denialism and discrimination still persist. Of the 94 calls to action from the TRC, only a fraction has been completed. So what is it going to take to complete the call to action? And this is a question I have even for my community. What is my community doing to show that it's sincere in making amends and having the people within the community work with the Indigenous in and around where we live to to gain a better understanding. I know that we had dancing and various things during our Dunchurch agricultural fair. But, is there something that can be done on a regular basis or a yearly basis? Or can we install a piece of art that would really speak to everybody's spirit and soul in this community? I don't know. I just think that there's more that can be done. So I'm going to go now on to Wednesday. What was happening on Wednesday? Wednesday, I had my ketamine treatment. And it's a pain treatment that I get for fibromyalgia and neuropathic pain in my legs. And it helps a lot. It makes a huge difference in how I feel. I went in there with a pain score of 7, which is quite high, with 10 being that you just can't stand the pain. But I have pain very often, very frequently. And ketamine is something that is not to be taken lightly. You are to respect the fact that it's a very strong drug and to not do it without supervision. So I try to weave what I'm going through personally into my blogs, my written blogs. And from now on, instead of just reading my blog, I'm going to be telling you about my blog and about how I'm feeling and how I'm doing and what I would like to do for the community and what I would like to do for me and my neighbors. And I have so many ideas. I have things that I just feel I need to do. So I'm going to be weaving my blogs and the reflection how I'm doing personally and how our nation is doing, because I feel that sometimes what's happening in Canada is just as disturbing as what's happening within my body. There are painful situations going on, and I'm not going to go into what needs to be done for Canada. I think everybody knows what needs to be done for Canada. Um, but I feel like we're all on a profound journey, and it's time that we start making a difference. And it's time, I think, that people start vocalizing instead of bottling it up and just getting angry. It's not worth getting angry over, because um, you end up hurting yourself more. So I would think vocalizing it in groups, or writing letters, or talking to your MP or MPP, groups that have been formed to address certain types of issues. I think it's important that we get involved and do something, because it's by not being involved and allowing things to have happened over the last 10, 15 years that things have gotten out of hand. And politically, we have lost our voice, because I don't think we're always that fairly represented, because the party seems to want to draw the line as to how and when they can vote on certain issues. And I think it's really important that they start working for the people. Governments were organized so that people could be heard, okay? We don't work for the government works for us, and at the moment I don't feel that the government is working for us. So without me going into a big harangue over what I think is wrong, I'm just going to leave it where it is. And I'm just going to say, pay attention to what's going on. Pay attention, and in your own way do something about it, because by being quiet, they're not honoring us in any way. They're not doing anything to make us feel any better. So, well, a month or maybe 2 or 3 months ago, Kathy Lamb said something to me, and she said, I wonder what's going to happen this time when you drive to Toronto, because there's always something that happens on your trip to Toronto. Well, Kathy, I'm not going to disappoint you. Of course, something happened while we were in Toronto. The I had just gotten back from my treatment. I had a nice sleep in the afternoon, and we had something to eat at dinner time. And I was just getting ready to settle down and have another sleep when, I guess it was about 7 o'clock, the fire alarm went off. And it just went off and off and off. And it was so noisy. It was just driving me. And I'm supposed to have peace and quiet after my treatment, because that's what makes it work. Okay. So all this noise and hubbaloo, or whatever you want to call it, it wasn't helping me much. So I put on my earphones, so tuned out some of the noise. And finally, somebody came on and said they made an announcement about what was going on. And then someone from Toronto Fire Services came over the loudspeaker, and he said, "There is a report of a fire on the fourth floor, and we are investigating. Please stay in your room. If you have an emergency, call 911." Well, it was probably someone who couldn't find the microwave to heat up their sandwich or something. and decided to use the steam iron like we did once to heat up something to eat. Anyhow, I'm just being silly here. Um, the thing was, it did happen again at 10 o'clock that night, and we just said, nah, just ignore it. Put the headphones back on, and I went back to sleep. The thing was, we didn't see any flames, we didn't smell smoke, and the only thing I wondered was if my bathrobe would have been considered emergency attire. Anyhow, I uh, I just wanted to mention that. Of course, something always happens, and if nothing happens, we'll make something happen. How's that? Anyhow, the following morning, we just made our way home. We had a nice drive home. The weather was beautiful, and yeah, we stopped and did a few little things along the way. And by the time we got home back to Dunchurch, it was 3 o'clock. So here I had missed Yarn Circle, which is something I look forward to every week. But anyways, I guess there's always next week, right? So next week will be Thanksgiving, and that's a time for families, friends, and neighbors to get together. And I hope that you're all going to have a wonderful week, and we will see what happens. I've enjoyed sitting out on the porch talking to you. I can hear the leaves rustling, and the wind is taking them down. A lot of trees near us are bare already, but that's the time of year that it is. So, and it's a season, and we always look forward to something that's coming. So we'll just look forward to Thanksgiving dinner for next week. And in the meantime, have a wonderful week, and we will see you soon. Take care. Bye.